Super Brain by Deepak Chopra and Rudolph Tansi. This is Brian Swan from the Unstoppable family, and it is our very last day here in San Sebastian, Spain, before we head out to the Canary Islands, which is part of Spain. And my little girl, she starts first grade next week. We are so excited, and also to get into the nice weather once again of the tropics. But what I wanted to share about for Super Brain, and why I actually consider it in one of my top 5 books, Deepak Chopra has actually always been one of the biggest impacts, one of the spiritual leaders, personal development people that I look up to. It was 8 years ago that I got to listen to the 7 spiritual laws of success. Really opened my mind on how I look at things, how I think about things, how I look at myself, relationships, etc. And I've listened to it probably about 50 to 60 times over the last 8 years. And anytime that Deepak comes out with something new, I'll pick it up. Super Brain, when I picked that up about 6 months ago, I was really blown away, and it really took the personal development side with the spirituality, law of attraction, and then combined it with the scientific side, and then what the brain can do. And I want to give you a couple tidbits that really impacted me. This is, you know, they say that the brain is evolving, that people are evolving, and you can train your brain to do anything. For instance, I'm going to give you an example. I've never heard of this before, but everybody has heard of speed reading, right? So people can speed read where they flip in pages and read a book within a minute or so. Well, what I've learned, I'm like, well, people speed read. I listen to audiobooks all the time. Why don't I speed listen? And so on iTunes, if you look at iTunes on audios, you can actually put things at double speed. And I've started doing that for the last, I started doing that ever since the book. And I'm listening to things at double the speed. It sounds really crazy like the chipmunk style at first, but then after a short time, a very short time, I'm able to listen to it and comprehend it at half the amount of time. And since this, I'm like, well, if I can do it at double the speed, you can actually on audible.com, you can get it at triple speed. I'm like, why don't I try that? And it sounds crazy at first, but I can really understand. I actually pick up things more because I'm more concentrating on it than as if I was just looking at single speed. And this is also while I multitask and do exercise like running down the beach here. And another little tidbit that was really cool, and I can relate to this, when I first came out of school, I didn't do any reading after I came out of engineering out of the University of Illinois. And I thought I was just getting dumb. I thought, man, was it the tree I hit while I was snowboarding? Was it, the things I did in college that are losing my brain cells? Oh, I'm done forever. But I wasn't engaging my brain. And, what they say in the book is that no matter what, you can still train your brain, and your brain can grow even after like a bad accident, like say a car accident. You can still grow your brain and relearn things where in the past that people thought you only had that functionality of your brain. So if you want to check out a book that is combining the personal development side, the Deepak Chopra, the law of attraction, spirituality, but then combining it with the scientific side along with the brain, I would recommend Super Brain, and you'll see why I consider it one of my top 5 books of all time. Brian Swan from the Unstoppable family. Go and be unstoppable.